Don in London. Hello, it's February the 12th, 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, or substance and behaviour in my case. I think we travel into other realms of addictive behaviour easily when we've got a substance backing up or fixing us on a daily basis. And I would never have described me as somebody who was fixing myself, although I was a drinker, I should think, 7 days a week for 35 years or thereabouts. Not always to excess, but certainly I used alcohol to take the edge off, find conviviality, joyfulness, access my sadness, my fears, my woes, my sorrows, my depression over lost love. Don't we all, or didn't we all? And what's wrong with that? Well, if we become dependent on an external source to fix the way we are, maybe it's time to have a serious look at our attitudes and behaviour to our drinking or anything else, behaviour. So for me, if it wasn't drinking, it was work. If it wasn't work, it was relationships. If it wasn't work, relationships or drink, it was doing something else to try and fix me. Collecting, getting the right place to live, the right car, appearing right. Ego, very brittle, covering up not much else. No real substance in there, no self-esteem. But I only know these things in recovery, because when I was out there fixing myself, I felt fixed. So I wasn't even in denial, I was just ignorant of what was going on most of the time. An ignoramus maybe, but at the same time, ignorance cannot be bliss when we don't know what's wrong, and why do we feel this way. So gradually in recovery I've started to understand what it's like to experience my feelings as they occur, rather than have the feelings, push them down, either with a drink or with fear, because fear is great. It helps us suppress everything and put on a brave face. So lots of brave facing, lots of ego, and I don't mean ego in the sense that I wanted to rule the world. It was just enough ego to stop myself from falling apart. And in recovery, ego is an essential part of one's character as much as self-esteem, because sometimes we do get situations where we need just enough time to collect our thoughts, and sometimes the how dare you moment, where we say how dare somebody do this to us, is enough time to collect our thoughts and reflections and think, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Why am I feeling this way? So recovery is a bit of a rocky road. People call it trudging the road of happy destiny, and sometimes, as I know, we need to embrace both the good and the bad of life, the good and the bad of our feelings if we think a feeling is bad for us. But the truth is, we have our feelings because they're there, and if we embrace them and understand them, it's not about being a goody two-shoes in recovery or Pollyanna. Certainly not. It's about knowing how we feel on a daily basis, to the good of life or to the bad, or the more difficult, even the sorrowful, and the tragedies that we go through. Because life is full of them, and we need time sometimes just to collect ourselves and understand the process which we're going through. So it's not easy to live life, whether we're an addict in recovery, an addict not in recovery, or just a normal human being trying to cope with what is life. So life is today, life is the experience of now, and that's my spiritual connection, the truth of now. So in my videos I share about what helps me. That's Alcoholics Anonymous, family, friends, community, society. But I need to put sober first, and if I put sober first, then I get to know what my feelings are. I get to know how to be with myself and family, friends, community, society, and anybody else I might encounter. Whew, that's hard work, and that's what it is. That's life. Life is hard work, and sometimes it's difficult and not easy. But you know what? If we say to ourselves, misery is optional, and that's often said, it isn't. It's misery is just a part of living, and we need to go through the miserable times as much as we need to go through the happy times, or we don't know the difference. So no Pollyanna Don here, or Polydon. what is AA, and why is it so important to me? Well, here is the statement of intent, which is shared at every meeting. It's called the AA Preamble, and it keeps me on track and slows me down into the moment of now, where life is happening, not tomorrow, not in an hour's time, right now. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in that last sentence where it says our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, there are some key things about AA. It's got 12 steps of action to change attitude and behaviour on a daily basis, and we learn how to utilise the 12 steps and live them as part of our lives. And the fundamental behind that is open, honest and willing to change. And somebody wrote to me in the last 24 hours saying, what am I going to do when life isn't so good and people are asking me to share my experience, strength and hope when life is intolerable or just really unhappy? And the answer for me comes in a phrase which is often said in the fellowship of AA: secrets keep us sick. But I prefer to say secrets keep us stuck in the problem rather than moving into the solution. And the fellowship literature, the daily reflections, this book, is all about the 12 steps. And February is about being restored to sanity by a higher power. And we can choose what our higher power is. It can be the wisdom of other people, letting them in to help us. It can be just understanding that a higher power of love can help us, loving ourselves and loving other people, and finding the truth of now. So when we're stuck in the problem, if we say something about I'm stuck in a problem and I need some help, we've got a better chance of moving on and getting help and support. And if people can't help us, maybe the only thing that can help us is time. So it's not easy being in recovery, and it's not even easy being a human being. Anyway, the reading for today, for the 12th of Feb, is The Root of Our Troubles. And it says, selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. How amazing the revelation in that the world and everyone in it can get along just fine with or without me. What a relief to know that people, places, things will be perfectly okay without my control and direction. In other words, I don't need to control or direct anything. And how wordlessly wonderful to come to believe that a power greater than me exists, separate and apart from myself. That's the rest of the world, actually, and the universe and nature. I believe that the feeling of separation I experience between me and God is truth for me, will one day vanish. In the meantime, faith must serve as a pathway, or the pathway, to the centre of my life. Yes, faith, we all need it, a little bit. Faith in our human nature, faith in doing the next right thing, and not being stuck in the problem, and sharing about it. And if we do that, if we share about our problems, then the root of our troubles, which is our own fear of not being good enough most often, putting on a brave face in our ego, starts to disappear. So truth unsticks us. So secrets will keep us stuck, but telling the truth means that we can receive help, and often from the most unusual sources, often from just listening to our good conscience. Ah, what a relief. Anyway, that's the end of my time here today, and the Serenity Prayer, which is a meditation to a higher power, to God, or good conscience, whatever is your belief, and it has to be your belief, not mine. Mine is useless to you. It's a belief in what works for you. That Serenity Prayer to God, or good conscience. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just for today.